Hello everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. I'm just trying to get everything straightened on my screen here. Welcome to my monthly Friday folds. Hi Margaret, hi Lisa, hi Diane, hi Gwen. So glad you guys are joining me tonight. So I do this class once a month. I show you guys a fold. And this month I'm actually doing an oldie but goodie. This is called a joy fold. It has two flaps that open in opposite directions. I'm not sure the history of why this is called a joy fold. It could be that maybe the person that invented it was named Joy. Or maybe as you open it, it just brings joy. I'm not sure. If anybody knows the history of why this is called a joy card, I would love to hear it. So in order to create this card, we're using the Varied Vases card, stamp set, sorry. Now this is a stamp set that was designed by Mary Fish. Just recently she became one of Stampin' Up's $1 Million Achievers. And how you know that a stamp set was designed by a $1 Million Achiever, it has the little gold emblem right here on the bottom. With that stamp set, hi everyone, I'm so glad you're joining me. Glad to see you. The coordinating punch, the Vases Builder Punch, as you can see, it has all the vases, a flower, and a leaf image. We are also going to be using the detailed trio punch. It's got 3 different punches. I'm going to show you how to use this other than what I did here on the corner of the card. I'll show you how all 3 of these work. And let me see what else. We've got 4 ink colors: gray granite, soft seafoam, petal pink, and pool party. Now this, I have a lot of stamps that I'm using on this card because each of the flower images, you have the line image and then you have the stamp that fills in. As you can see, all of these flowers are colored by stamp images. So it's a 2-step stamping. It's pretty neat. Before I show you all of the layers, I want to show you something I did yesterday, finally. I've had my Simply Chamois for quite some time yet. I didn't want to get it dirty. It's so pretty. I love the purple. I keep it in a stamp case. It's always moist. And look what I did to it. I finally used it. It looks terrible. I just didn't want to get it dirty, and I finally took the step and got it dirty. So I am going to use this to clean my stamps from now on. It works just like the chamois cloth that I've been using. So what I'm going to do is show you all of the layers and steps in case you want to write them down. The card base. Let me put my little sticky here. And you guys know once the live is over with, if you want to watch this again and write these down, you can pause the video and take notes. So the card base is 9.5 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. So we still score at 5.5 like you do a regular card, but it's shorter on one end. I've got Pool Party, 5 1/4 by 4. And this is the Twinkle Twinkle designer paper. This side is really pretty also. All of the sheets are pretty in this set. The designer paper is 5 by 3 3/4. So this is the card base layers. Next, I'm going to show you the layers that go on the flap in the front. So those are the measurements. Pool Party, 4 by 3 3/4. And then again, the Twinkle Twinkle, this is just a different pattern. 3 3/4 by 3.5. So this would be like your step 2. And the final step is this piece right here. It's actually this long, and then you score it in the center. And then you have layers on 3 sides. So this would be called the center fold. We have Pool Party, 9.5 by 2 3/4, scored at 4 3/4. And then very simple, 3 pieces of Whisper White, all measuring 4.5 by 2.5. So we're going to, oh, and let me give you the scraps too. This is to cut the sentiment, just a piece of Whisper White. Now on my vases, I did something a little bit different. I didn't stamp them. As you can see in the set, you have 3 different styles of images. But I didn't stamp. What I did is I used designer paper. So for these 2, I cut them with the punch, and then the green is on the other side. And then we have this. So it coordinates with the layers that I used. I also want to show you what I did to the vases. You can't tell just by looking, but I'm going to bring this close up. I used the fine tip glue pen to add some shimmer and shine. I hope you can see how shiny that is. Yep, I see it ahead of me. You guys can see. I actually have 2 layers of the glue. Once it's on there, you let it dry and it's rock hard. It's not sticky at all. It kind of acts like our crystal effects we used to have a few years ago. Okay, so let me move all of these aside. I'm going to put them off right here in case you still want to take some notes. So there's all 3 of the steps that I showed you. So I'm going to bring in the gray granite. Jewel, I just tuned in as you were telling what you clean your stamps. This is the new Simply Chamois that's in the new catalog, the annual catalog. It's the same as the, let me bring my chamois. It's the same as the chamois cloths I've been using all along. But we now sell these in the catalog, and look how thick they are. It's almost like a sponge. And I actually forgot about it. I didn't want to use it, so I put it aside. It became as hard as a rock. And all I did yesterday was put water in the sink, and I let it soak the water up, and it revived it. So that's what I'm using to clean my stamps, and I still use the chamois cloths too. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the 2 layers to do the inside. So we're going to glue the pool party. So for those of you tuning in late, I have all of the measurements right here, and I stated that once the video is done, you can just go back and view it and then pause it so you can write down all the measurements. Okay, so that's it for the inside. Now I'm going to close the flap, bring in, which would be these 2 sizes right here. And I started stamping back in 1997. That's how long I've been stamping. And the Joy Fold was around back then. So this Joy Fold has been around for a long time. Okay, so that's it for the front and the back. All of the work, or the front and the inside, all of the work is actually done on the 3 layers that you see here. Now, I want to show you, before I get going on that, I just got a piece of cardstock. This just measures 2.5 by 4 1/4. It's just a scrap. I want to show you what you can do with this punch. So this little curvy line right here, it goes in right in the corner, and you have to make sure it's snug on both sides. That's your corner rounder. So let me do 2 corners. Then I'm going to switch over to the little flower image. Same thing. See how it does the little flower in the corner? So I'm going to do 1 more over here. So there's the 2 flowers. The third one is this little oval right here. Now that one goes in straight, and all you do is make sure that it's even on both sides. And there's your little hole for your tag. So this is good for making tags. You can use all 3 of these. But on the card, I'm actually using it as a corner. So let's do the first corner. So there's my corner rounder. There's my little flower. And then when I open it up, because I'm going to round the pool party, I need to round the one on the inside also. I didn't do the flower for the one on the inside. And it's the opposite corner. And now I'm going to bring in the pool party and fold. And that's going to go this way. So I'm going to round this corner. Okay, and that's it for the corner punch. And you can see that with the flower, as you layer it over the pool party, the color peeks out. It's kind of neat. Okay, now let's do this one first, so I won't get confused. We have quite a few stamped images. I'm just going to open up all of my ink pads. So again, we have, I can never remember if this, okay, petal pink, gray granite, pool party, and soft sea foam. I'm going to go ahead and cut my vases. So as you can see, not to waste paper, the two vases right here are going to be punched with this strip. And then I just flip one over to the green side. And then this one's going to be the pink one. And what I did I had positioned my vases where I wanted them ahead of time. So about there. And then I'm going to bring in all of the flower images. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Now, a little tip, I'm going to bring in a Post-it note because I don't want, let me put this down. These are longer than where the vases are going to be, so I don't want the stem to peek through on the white below the vases. So that's why I added the Post-it note. So let's do, the first one is this one here. And all I'm doing is putting it about where I think it's going to go. And see how the stem will, oh shoot, I messed that up. Hold on. Now I won't be able to turn that one over. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a flower image to this one also. So that way I can just flip that one over. Let's try that again. And I'm going to bring in my chamois. I should have wiped down. I had some ink on my block. Now I just got a fingerprint on there. Okay, that's okay. We're gonna keep going. Now I want to color the inside, which is this one. These are like little tulips. Okay, that's a pretty flower. Now this one is going to go right here. And that's kind of a funky flower. It's a long one. So I'm going to make sure that it's quite high so that I can tuck my other one below it. Now this one's going to be, whoops, wrong color. We're going to use the pink on this one. See how easy that colors the flowers? And then this one's going to go right below that one. I wanted this one high so that I could tuck that one in place. And then this is your soft sea foam. Okay, now we can glue the vases in place. I'm usually not one to order stamps that are so tiny. I don't usually like to work with the tinier stamps. But this set is so cute. Okay, we got one more. Now, as far as adding the fine tip glue to make it glossy, I do that at the very end because you actually have to let it sit to let it dry. Now let's go ahead and do the sentiment. And that just says birthday wishes. And I forgot to dig out my classic label punch. That is another punch that should be on the list for tonight's class. And then I'm going to use mini dimensionals to glue that in place. Now, because I added a little fingerprint over here, we're going to cover that up. See, now you can't tell I did that. And where's my snail? I didn't fuss with that too much because I knew I could cover it. Now that's going to be layer number 1. And that's going to open this way. So now let's go over to layer number 2. So the only difference is we're going to have the little punch, the punch out right here that I didn't have on the sample. And all I did here was stamp 2 flowers. And again with the pink. And it's so easy to fill in these flowers. So that's it for layer 2. I know some of you liked it, not that you like it when I mess up, but you like me to show you how I fix my errors. So you can't tell that there's a boo-boo in the back of that one. Okay, for the final, now we're going to add a whole bunch of flowers. So I'm just pretty much filling in the bottom. I've got that one. Let's see. The tall one. So I'm kind of just creating a scenery at the bottom. Whoops. Okay, I only have room for 1 on that one. Now, let me bring the step number 2 in. So this is the soft sea foam. And then, oops, wrong color again. Pool party on this one. And then with the pink. One more. And then that one's going to go on the inside. And then all we have left to do on this one is to add the sentiment. Now this one says, hoping your day blooms with happiness. I love the sentiments in this set. They're so cheery. Okay, so now all we have left to do is to glue this on the inside. So let me bring the other card back in. I'm going to add quite a bit of glue because this is the portion with all the movement. I'm going to close this and actually center it. And then you just pop this open and then flip it over, and that's it. And when you make a joy card like this, you can actually make this as tall as you want or as short as you want. It doesn't have to be this size. And that's it for my cards for tonight. So anybody that shares, again, I will pick a name and send you this card. I'll pick a name tomorrow morning. And I will be online on Sunday at 7 p.m. I'm going to be using the Petal Promenade designer paper. And what this class is going to be, I'm going to show you how to make 4 identical cards. And I'm going to show you how to cheat with your designer paper in saving part of your designer paper. I'm not going to give it away now, but you'll see on Sunday. It's a really neat tip. And I have some 4 beautiful cards to show you. So I hope you guys will join me on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a good night, everyone. And thanks so much for all the love and for stamping with me tonight. Good night.